Hello friends, this is Nuremberg Airport, and I'm doing this flight for a friend who asked me to do a simple flight which he can follow and learn from it to do a very elementary flight. I'm doing a non-real life flight from Nuremberg to Munich, non-real life because it's too short. It will be only maybe a 40-minute flight or so, including pushback and taxiing. Well, I've got the Nuremberg Professional Airport. You don't have to buy that. The default one is good enough. Place ourselves at some gate. This gate does not have a jet bridge. And we will end at some gate in Munich, simply. And I'm doing the most elementary things you can do. So I'm starting cold and dark. This starts cold and dark. And the easiest way to get this plane working without going from cold and dark is just go to panel states and turn around with APU, which is also a realistic option, I think. You're placed now in an aircraft which has all the things done that you want to do before planning the flight. Well, what did it do actually? It did turn on the APU, and also the ground external power, ground power is connected, and the navigation IRS system will be aligned once it's finished. It takes a while to boot up on my system. Well, there are some eco warnings, and once those warnings are gone, we are going to start our flight. I did the flight planning, and I'm not intending to use Navigraph here. I did the flight plan with skyvector.com. Very simple one, and you can do that with almost any airport, but you will have to fly a little bit well, manually, not following the approach plates, because you don't have the approach plates, obviously. Master caution off. So now I don't have any caution here. Let's start the timer so that we know how long our video is going to take. Well, we have no warning here. We have the fuel pumps off. And if you want to make things simple, just start the fuel pumps now. And the seatbelt signs on, the beacon light on. So we have beacon light on, strobe, and auto. We will switch on the strobe light. It's a white flashing light. We will do that later. Nav logo light is on 1. We have 2 positions because we have 2 different nav logo lights which we can switch from. And these are other lights which I will explain later. This is the emergency lights, which are armed in case we have a failure. The emergency lights will go on automatically, and this is the no smoking sign, which I put on auto, and I ignore it mainly. Well, generator 1, generator 2 have fault lights, otherwise we have no light up here. Well, let me show here. So this is the main control panel. And flight directors are both on, Q and H now, which probably will not be right. So how do we get meta now? There are 2 ways. Well, for one, you can go to the weather tab here, and we have live weather on, as you see, and press meta here and get the current Nuremberg. So this is Nuremberg weather. We have a wind 149 knots, which means we can use almost any runway. It's a perpendicular to the runway. We have a few clouds, and it's rather chilly. QNH is 1019. Let me enter that here and see if we have the correct altitude now for Nuremberg, which is 1020. So how do we proceed if we don't want to use this meta? The best way is to use the map. This is the map. I have a key for that. Pressing M will open this map, and you can use the mouse to scroll, and you can go to the airport here. Yeah, that's it. So you can see the altitude of the airport somewhere. Not sure where. This one, 1032 feet, which agrees with what we see here. And we get the meta down here too. And the ILS frequencies, by the way, are also here. We have an 80s frequency, which I think we can still not tune in this Airbus. They don't fix that. But we could use the Microsoft way, tune Nuremberg 80s. I don't do it. Well, we are going to take off runway 28. But first of all, let's enter our flight plan. So let's go to the initialization page and clear enough upgrade. We are now aligned because we can see the map here and there are no errors anymore. From to, we are flying from Nuremberg to Munich. Easy enough. And the alternate, we are just flying back in case Munich is closed or something. We are flying, oh sorry, we are just flying back, and the flight number is, well, we are Lufthansa something. Well, it doesn't exist to be right. This is the flight number. Cost index was 25, let's say, and cruise level. Well, it's a very short flight. You will find out that the distance to Munich, how do you get this? Go to the progress page and enter Munich here. So the distance is 74 nautical knots, which is not much. So we can't climb high. What we do is we just use a cruise level of 150. Yep, that's all we do. And wind, we don't enter. Well, it's complicated. We have a flight plan. Though the flight plan I have is going from Nuremberg to a place called, now in Sky Vector I've selected a case called Bolsey. So let's enter that. Bolsey. Yeah, you have to enter it here. So from Bolsey we can use an airway, or we can use the next waypoint directly because it's just one leg. It's called Akanu. That's what I do for the moment. Akanu. And from Akanu I'm using an airway just to show you airways. There is no list of airways here, so you have to see what SkyVector provides to you. It's Lima 603. You can just simply click that in SkyVector, and the next airway is Lima 605. Simply, and it changes Vesni, and we are ended in Mike. That's all we do for the moment. Well, temporary flight plan. We can go to temporary flight plan. We can see a flight plan on the plan page here, the range of 40 maybe. So this is Bolsey, and we can click and see that we are already almost reaching Munich. If we enable airports here, we see Munich here. That's nice. We are flying directly to some ILS approach in Munich. Let's go back to the arc mode, because we have to plan a departure. And let me insert that. And let's go, if you go to airport, you will see that if you repeatedly press that, you are going through all the airports or to alternate airport, like that. The departure we are taking, well, with that wind we can just take 28, or we can take 10, it doesn't really matter, 16, and there's a policy departure. If there wasn't, we have to choose one of them, and let me see how that works. Again, go to the plan mode, and you see that the policy departure works. Insert that. Now, there will be automatically inserted some constraints like 250 at this waypoint, and also altitude constraints if there are any, but in this case there are not. So now the approach we are going to plan later. Oh, that's a trick here. We could go to the map and see the, and already see the 80s meta in Munich, that one, and we would see that Munich has also easterly winds, and we are going to fly from the east, but we don't do that. We do that later in the air. I'm going to show you how to do that. The alternate we don't plan at this time. We would do that once we have to go around and to go back to Nuremberg. So that's all I do here for the moment. Go back to flight plan. The next thing we'll have to do is to initialize the beat page with weight. So we have to load the plane. How do we do that? There are two options here. You can go to the ground services here, which I'm not using. Toggle chat. There's no chatway here. You could open the stairs and open the forward door. This one, and now you would have stairs and forward door open. Well, I don't do that for this flight. I do nothing of that. Go to mass and balance, and now plan the flight here. That's you can indeed do that. So you can click here and, for instance, take some passengers like that, maybe almost full plane, a little bit of cargo, and maybe 6 tons of fuel, 5 tons, 5.5 tons. Yeah, this is the planned gross weight, the planned zero fuel weight, and that's okay. You have to stay below 78 tons. Well, this is really not. You could load a lot more fuel, but we don't need it for that flight. Let's take that aircraft load and load that instantly as fast as possible. Now the aircraft is packed and it's loaded, and we have a zero fuel weight, weight without fuel, center of gravity, and we enter that into the init page. But this can be done automatically by send to MCDU, and there we have it. Zero fuel weight and center of gravity. Block fuel 5.5 tons. Check if that's correct. This is the fuel on board. It's indeed correct. Yep. You can get a fuel prediction now. That's for Munich and that's for flying back. We will have fuel on board still enough to do the flight 2 times or so. Back to the init page. We have done that. And now we have to go back to the performance page, because we have to plan the departure. For that we have our load sheet. By the way, we should close our doors now. How do we close doors? Yeah, just lock it here. And we should have a squawk code also. Let me take simply 1000. Doesn't matter because we don't use ATC in this flight. 1000. Standby, that's okay. That's above, below. You want to see above or below airplanes, and I'm just selecting all. And you can put that to auto for this flight because there are no other planes. Auto will show only dangerous aircraft which are in our way. Okay, now initial climb altitude is 7,000. This is depicted on the charts, but you can select anything you want to, because you are not flying with ATC here, and there is no other traffic, but you need to be aware that there might be some mountains around airports. Go back to arc mode, constraints on, shows you the constraints, like 350 knots here, range of 10, and both VORs displaying. And they are auto selected for the Nuremberg VOR, which is November Uniform Bravo here. You don't have to do anything with that. So we are standing here, we have to go there and take off to the east. Yup. Okay. Now, still the performance. There is a performance calculator here which you can use and should use. The car code for the airport is Echo Delta Delta. Echo Delta Delta November. Runway is 10. Runway condition is wet, say, because it has rain. Flap configuration you can opt, you can leave everything here as it is. Maybe packs on because of the passenger's takeoff weight. Yeah, this is a little bit more difficult because we have to we have this 57.5 plus our fuel, which adds up to 62 tons. Let's take that. Yeah, and this is the center of gravity, and we are taking 280 here. And this is the current meta, by the way. You can get it here too. This is our wind, temperature, QNH. Yep, and calculate that. And here's the calculation. This is our V2 speed, which is our reference speed for takeoff, which we have to reach at a certain point after takeoff. I don't go into details. Rotation speed, and this is V1 speed. And over this speed, we don't abort takeoff. Flaps will be 1, and up 0.1 is just a initial trim. Flex means we don't use full power, and flex temperature just reduces the thrust. We can send this to the MCU. Again, don't have to enter that, and we have it here. 1 up, set temperature, and this is all. Takeoff shift is if you don't take off at the end of the runway, we don't do that. Transition altitude, I have to leave that as it is. And this is the performance pages, and I'm showing you later more of that. For the time being, we don't have to change anything here. Good, we have our takeoff performance now, and you should make sure that they are listed here. So this is V2 speed, and this is our 128, as you see, V1. That's the first speed we have to reach. And this is the initial climb altitude. By the way, I should show you that this is the flight mode annunciator, which currently says climb and nav is armed. Yeah, well, because these dots mean that climb, this dot means that climb to flight level 70 is armed, 7,000 flight level 70, and nav is also armed. Now, will I show you that later in much more detail. Yeah, terrain you can switch on. The terrain radar works in this plane. What does not work is the weather radar, so you can leave it off and just because you need to do so later, put the predicted wind scheduler on. We do that later. Oh, now all doors should be closed, and our flight should be planned. The cockpit door is closed too, and we locked it. And that's about it, what we need. That's about what we need. Okay, there is a checklist here. Got the captain side here and documents, and this is our checklist. Gear pins and covers removed. Well, we did our outside work and removed our gear pins and our covers. Fuel quantity is 5.5 tons. Is checked. Seatbelt signs is on. It is on. ADS are both on NAP. You can check that here where they are. They have NAP upgrade, and the barrel reference is 1019 on both sides. This should be synced. If it's not synced, you can set it yourself or enable the settings here to sync it automatically. Now, in the settings, there is a special setting for syncing, and also the standby. Now, if you change it here, by the way, yeah, it changes up there to because it's synced. Yeah, we have this doing, and we should also check that the same altitude is indicated here and there. Parking brake is set, and don't check that here. You can check that there. Parking brake is set. This is the hydraulic pressure for the parking brake. If you release the parking brake, let me do that. You can see that here. And what else? Takeoff speed and thrust. We have done that. We have here takeoff speeds, and it's also in the primary flight display, and thrust temperature is 59. What else? Windows are closed. You didn't open them. You can check here. You can open the windows, but well, I don't do that now, of course. And beacon light is on. It's this beacon light actually the one that is flashing red in red. Yeah, now pushback. As I said, this was a fast way of doing things. So let's put back there. Well, if you have Navigraph, you can load charts here. Well, you get a chart overview, and your plane is somewhere here. Where is it? Hard to find here. This is Nuremberg. We are flying actually Olsi. No. Yes, Olsi and Akano, Lupox, Renlo, and Besni, and there to Mike. So this is the flight plan, and the arrival airport would be somewhere here. Here, Munich. You can center that here. Okay. Yeah, and I don't use charts because I didn't want to for that flight. Grounds. So let's check the ground services, remove the chocks and cones. We have the parking brake set, and connect the pushback tug. By the way, if you have that still on and connect the tug, it will be automatically removed, as well as all doors closed and things done automatically. And we can start the pushback. So what's happening? In this simulation, the tug is connecting now. So once it's connected, you make sure that we don't brake. And release the parking brake. Now, only take yourself on the airport. This is runway 10, so we have to push back to the east. Like that. Now we release the parking brake, and there we go. You can start the engine now, but I don't do it. I don't advise to do it because you will have to steer the pushback truck. Once your tail is on the line where you want to be, almost, you can go left, tail to the left. That is here, should be now, which turns the airplane. Like so. Well, and once you are, it will turn more than 90 degrees, so you have to stop the turn. So what we do is we go straight now and then stop the pushback and set the parking brake immediately, which looks like that. Now start the engine, so put that to ignition start and have a look here. So we have all the instruments here, the oil quantity, that all looks normal, so we start the engine number 2. Well, this will start the engine, as we see by this gray rectangle. N2 is a small rotor, which is now starting due to the APU bleed that we have applied. And now engine, this is the big rotor, and it will be igniting now. Decoder will start and going to something like 18. You can wait for the available sign here to appear. This is a electrical contact which is switching over. So available. So we start the other engine now. Engine number 1. Same procedure. You can watch the start, but it's automatic. This, by the way, is the fuel injection. And now it's the, sorry, that's it, fuel injection, no, it's not, let's see. Yep. It's the bleed injection, the air bleed. And we have started the engine. Okay, after engine start, we put the APU off. Can't put the APU off. Since we are going to taxi, I put the taxi lights on now immediately, but you need a taxi clearance for that. And the mode to normal so that the air conditioning starts working. This is after start, so we go to the checklist once more. After start anti-ice, we don't need it today. At least I don't think so. At least not on the ground. ECAM status, well, there would be an indication here, but you can call the ECAM status to say if any system is malfunctioning. Pitch trim, well, we set this to 0.1 up, which is around here. Okay. You can also not set it for this 0.1 up. Rudder trim neutral. Rudder trim is down here. You just reset it. Good. Now let's taxi. For the taxiing, we have the we have a key for that. We have the twist for that. We have the paddle disc. It's called paddle disc. Nose wheel steering. Nose wheel steering. The tiller, so-called tiller, and we also have the rudder. The rudder will be limited to 6 degrees if you have a tiller. If you don't have a tiller, it's working fully in the simulation. So now we add a little bit of thrust, wait until it builds up, and release the parking brake. So we are moving. So this is the action of the rudder. This is full rudder deflection. You can use it for small corrections, reduce the thrust, or even to idle, and taxi to the departure airport. Well, I have set keys to look around. This is, what is it, left forward, right, left forward, right forward, sorry. I think I did a video on how to set these keys. So here is the exit to the taxiway Foxtrot. Here we are, Juliet. And let's check that everything is clear. This is Foxtrot. Goes to runway 10. We're going to taxi all the way to the end here, and while we are taxiing, we can prepare the airplane, but we could also do that once we... So we need to put the auto brake to max. which for a restricted takeoff we simply have to put the thrust lever to idle, and we automatically brake the airplane down to zero, to full stop. And max means it's doing that in a maximal option. The V1, the point where we can no longer abort the takeoff, is computed with the assumption that we take max braking here. Spoilers armed. That's down there, and I have a key for that. Spoilers. Flaps to take off. You can have a look here. Flaps take off is 1, so we set flaps 1 and wait for it to appear and to set. This is blue, but you don't see it. If it gets green, the flaps are actually set. Blue always means armed. Takeoff configuration test. Takeoff is here, so we have here takeoff no predicted wind shear is off, put it on, and the radar is not working. The company message you can ignore. Well, if you load the plane with the EFB, you get a company message to acknowledge the load sheet. Well, I can show you how to do that. But let me stop. We are a little bit too slow here. So let's accelerate a bit. And on this turn, we are going to have something below 15 knots. Now, tiller action. The feeling should be that the line goes through your right leg. So this line should go to the right leg. Let me see if I can get this right. Like so, and we are now precisely on the center line. Let's see if that is true. First of all, stop here, brake, and set the parking brake. So that look, so there we are, exactly on the center line. Good. For the takeoff, I am doing another check so that I know that my rotation speed is, well, we can check the rotation, it's 138. It will be auto indicated, but the V2 speed is 141, 128 is my V1 speed. So let me check that. Climb now is blue, and we have everything here as it should be. There's dots here too, and here too, and we have the VORs automatically. And for the takeoff, we put the strobe light to on. For the entering the runway, we put the strobe light to on, and for the takeoff, we do the landing lights to on and the nose light to take on. Otherwise, there is no light up here. And I think we have done everything. Line up, takeoff runway is checked. 10. We are at runway 10. We can have an outside look too. And TCAS should be on TARA, even though there's no other traffic. We are now reporting our position via the TCAS system. PAX 1 and 2, we leave them on for this flight. That was the plan. Departure change, there is no one. This is the checklist for departure change. Next one would be for approach, so we don't need that anymore. Yep, what else? I wanted to show you how to get the company message. Let's do it here, because I don't need this MCDU anyway. So let's go to the ATC communication here, AOC menu, and received messages, and you see the load sheets here. This is the first load sheet we got. We accept that, and this is the second one we got. We accept that. There's also a way to get weather here. Let me show you. Get weather and take the weather request from Munich, say. Send it and wait for the received messages. messages here. So we have weather data, easterly winds, as I said, variable, somewhat variable. Yeah, this is clear skies. I don't believe that. It should be raining now. Okay. Anyway, we are cleared for takeoff now. There is no approaching plane. You can check that here. But we don't have any other planes. In case you are flying with AI planes or with even online, you will see other planes here. And now going to take off. Thrust, parking brake released. Nothing here. Before the takeoff, we are going to put all lights on. I'm doing that now to make things easier. So we are not following this line now, but instead to use the maximal runway, we are going straight ahead and then doing a tight turn to the right. Ground speed is 5 knots now, 4 knots. Should be below 10 knots. And now I'm going to check and play a little bit with the brakes and turn. Good. Now I'm holding the brakes and ready for takeoff. Go. What we do now, release the brakes, push a little bit forward, you can see that here, and go to 50% thrust. You can see that on the blue dot here, like so. Wait until it's established on both sides, keep center line, and then go to flex position and read the FMA, that's max flex. 59er, SIS runway, climb up to 70, 100 knots we have passed. And I need to get a little bit wind now. V1, rotate. There's no announcements, you have to look at the runway flight display here up. And just follow the flight director. Things easy. As you see, there is fluctuating wind, that's why I had problems with center line. And if you want to make things easy, you can now go to autopilot, but you can also fly with. I'm going to autopilot for the moment. The autopilot will follow the flight director. And now let's check if we need anti-icing, and we do. I think we should switch that on just to show you engine 1, engine 2, and we are going to enter the clouds. Then we have the lever climb and theta, which means we go back to, this is flex 10 by the way, back to climb 10. And it's indicated here as thrust climb. Now we are in climb mode, nav mode, which means we are following the flight path, and altitude 7,000, which is actually a flight level, is armed. So there we are departing. Everything is working fine so far. We are accelerating. Now we are reaching S speed. What I do is put the flaps up and disarm the ground spoiler. We are still accelerating. This is green dot speed, which is the slowest speed that we should fly without flaps clean. QNH is blinking, so we are going to standard mode now, which is 101. Actually 101 for the altitude to get to the correct altitude. What I do for the moment is just level out at flight level 70. That's now a flight level. Because we are in standard mode, flight level 70 is shown here. altitude U means it's armed, climbing up. We are accelerating still, and there is a 250 knot speed limit here. Anyway, there is a 250 knot speed limit below flight level 100. Range. Look out there, this is Navigraph, not done. So now aircraft is leveling at flight 70. Yep. Everything is working as it should be. Engine anti-ice is not really needed, but we are going to enter the clouds soon. So checklist after, well, we don't have one after 3.2. Okay. That's good. Now let's go to a range of 40, and we have to follow this flight plan. And how do we do that? We have to climb further to flight level 150, enter that here, and press the knob. This is pulling, this is pressing. If you press the knob, it will follow the flight plan and plan descent mode, and we are in thrust climb now, climb and up. This is always the thrust mode. This is the flight mode we are in, just go to climb because we haven't reached our cruise altitude. Where's the cruise altitude? We entered it in it, but it's also on low press, and you can change it there. You can change that. And the flight will be pre-planned. The flight plan will show that we are climbing rapidly. Oops. So now we are in the clouds, it seems. I have keys for all of that. Let's hit the cabin. The cabin is simulated. So now I want to do a shortcut for you. So let's go to Renlo direct. How do you do that? Assume you are cleared for Renlo direct. So you go to Renlo, you can see that it's on the flight plan, and you wanted to go direct there. The correct way is going to the direct key here, and then you're looking for Renlo again, Renlo, and you can now insert that immediately, and that's what I do. Yeah, the flight plan changed and goes to Renlo direct. Climbing to flight level 150 still. This point is where we are halfway to our destination. The airplane is now accelerating above 250 knots because we are now flight level 100. We don't need anti-ice anymore, obviously. And above flight level 100, we need these lights. Switch all of them. And the scope light can go to auto, or you can do it on auto, switch it off actually. And well, for the passengers, we can now set the seat belts to signs off. There isn't much to this. There we are. Climbing flight level 150. So now we are soon approaching Munich. Now we should really do the approach landing now. How do we do that? Well, let me check again the weather in Munich in the map. Or you can use the weather request or whatever you like. So Munich is that airport here. Oops. And weather hasn't changed. We have easterly winds. Everything looks good. And we are going to plan for that. For enter destination data, I will show you that in a minute. But first of all, clear that. We know that we have to enter estimation approach data. We go to the destination airport simply here at press arrival, and we are using ILS 26 right, ILS 08 right, so 08 left, of course. Think about it, and via mic. That's the easiest way to do that. Go to temporary flight plan to check it. So where are we? We are here. Go to plan mode, range of 20 maybe, and check it. Walk through the flight plan. See that? That's Mike, and that's the approach via Mike. I'm not going to fly that. I'm going to show you how to picture yourself to this approach. For the moment, this is my flight. So we can insert that. And we also get some constraints here. So in Magat, we have to be plus 5,000. And in Mike, we also have to be plus 5,000. Go back to plan mode, to arc mode, and to a range of 30 maybe, so you can see what we do. So this is a bit strange. So what we do is, once we are in Besni, where our descent starts, because we have a very long descent here, we want to go direct and intercept the ILS immediately. What we do for that is replan a little bit. So clear that and go to Besni. Find it, Besni, and on the right side you can have an altitude constraint and a speed constraint. Well, the most important thing is the altitude constraint. In Besni, I really want to be at flight level, let's say 100. To have this approach, and the speed constraint to 250 knots, of course, and it's on descent, and we insert that. The flight plan is now recomputed, and it makes it easier for us to fly. We should now start our descent, as you see, so we do that. We set flight level 100 here, and press, which will start the descent mode. And we see descent mode. The altitude is now flight level 100, and it needs more drag, so we give it just setting the speed brakes. Yeah, this green dot shows how we are on our profile, and as you see, we are now back on our profile, so we can disable the speed brakes again. As you see, we are going to enter cloud, so what I do is put the engine identifiers on, a seatbelt signs to on, and we have to enter the destination data definitely now. So go to the performance page, and here we are. Now we can use this data that we got a minute ago, 10. Why do we have to do that? Because the plane plans the approach with a continuous descent, and that's only working if we are. That's only working if we are have the correct data here. Temperature is 10, and wind is currently 110.3. Yes, 110.3 magnitude, and we are going to do a ILS approach with manual landing, so we are taking a radio altitude of 200. That's it. After Besni, we are going to fly vector. Aircraft should now decelerate to 250 knots, by the way. We are reaching flight level 100, which means we put the lights on and put that taxi on. And just a marker that we have left. But in our case, we can take off and put the strobe on again. Okay. Now, checklist, approach checklist. Barrel ref, well, it's currently set to standard. We have to switch it to the current one in Munich, and that's the point where we do the approach checklist. So descend, and now I'm going to fly vector. So if you pull that, you get the kind of heading, and we assume we are cleared to fly a heading of 160, which, as you can see, with flies directly to Magat, and we are cleared to descend to 5,000 feet. Moreover, we assume that we have to keep 230 knots for the moment. Pull that. So now we are in completely selected mode, which probably might be the easiest way to fly this plane. 160 is not sufficient, so we turn a bit further, and then let's assume we are actually at 180. That's because of the wind. The wind is blowing us that direction. You see now what that will work. Good. Now, there are some other tricks we can do. We can go to direct and fly direct to Magat, and 260 knots approach course, and direct insert. That will look like this. Interception point. Well, what we want to do, our vector flight, continue our vector flight. Now we have to carefully watch what we are doing. The blue arrow now shows us where we reach flight level 50, which is actually in altitude. So we could switch altitude here with the correct QNH, which is 020. Go to the performance page, and you can also activate the approach phase now, which is already done. So 1020 here. Let me check that once more. It's important to check things twice. Unique airport there. Yeah. Oops. Unique airport. 1020. For us, it's in the moment, it's the most important thing. Then we need the landing system, and you can enable that on both sides. And it shows also already the localizer, which will guide us to the approach. Yep. So in approach mode, we can use the airplane's auto deceleration by going back to auto, which will decelerate the green dot speed. And as far as I see, we can go direct Magat now. Let's say we are cleared now 40, and here to intercept the ILS, which means we can activate the approach on the second autopilot. Be sure that you are 5,000 Magat. If you are, you will have to use the speed brake. This is a very tough decision that I make now, but it's working as you see. That mode is the landing distance that we could achieve with our energy. We could now set flaps 1. This is the flaps indication that you can set the flaps, and we have to be below this line to set flaps 2. This is S mode, and the aircraft will automatically descend to S mode because we are in auto thrust managed mode. You see, we have the we are too high a little bit, but it will work. Approach is activated, both autopilots on, glide slope and localizer is capturing, and the aircraft should do its job perfectly. There we are. We probably don't need the anti-ice anymore. We have all lights on. So now, auto brake. We need to arm auto brake and I'm always using medium here. There is a landing calculator. It's not necessary for a minute because it has a very long runway, but you should do it on any smaller airport. You should do it automatically. So we have now localizer and glide slope captured, and the speed is managed. Okay, we can set flaps 2 now and decelerate further. Or we can select the speed that we want for the approach, let's say 175. Select pulling like that one. And do the deceleration later, maybe at that point. This one is 1,200 feet above the airport. You need to be stable at 1,000 feet. So this is maybe. As you see, we cannot select flaps. We have to decelerate first.
2,500.
So maybe gear down now, because we still have to decelerate, and gear down will give us the drag. Wait for 3 and see that we are decelerating beyond this point before you activate flaps 3 and go to manage speed again, like so. Flaps 3, and this is flaps 4. Flaps 4. And now we have the landing checklist. The spoilers should be armed for that. Let's do that. Flaps are full, and we have landing no blue. You can have a no blue. At 1,000 feet, we should be not far from our approach speed, which is indicated here, but we can also simply look here. And here's the runway. I see to white to red, and the aircraft is perfectly on our approach. This is the airport. It's also a pre-well version. And there is no approach light here. Oh, yeah, there is. You can see that. So now at 1,000 feet, I'm going to disable the autopilot by pressing this, and I can keyboard that. And I'm using a auto thrust landing with auto thrust. So keep on the flight director. It's the easiest way, or fly visually. This visual check back that this positive pitch is okay. 2 degrees, 2.5 degrees approximately. We have to fight a little bit with the wind. But it's not much wind, but anyway, it's short. It needs some action from my side, but I'm not moving the stick very much. We are exactly on the speed. Continue. Landing.
100.
Check.
30.
That's okay.
40.
Retard back.
Retard.
And catch the plane and land it down the runway. Okay. Reverse on. The touchdown is not very prominent in this simulation. I don't know why. So now I have reverse on, idle reverse, because I need to accelerate manual braking. I could have exited there, but let me exit one later. Reverse is still on, but idle reverse. So this is idle reverse. If this is reverse off, this is idle reverse. reverse off. Oh, so I have to exit there. Disarm the ground spoilers with the key and retract all flaps. Okay. And I'm going to stop there because I want to show you what to do after the, or go very slowly, maybe like so. Well, we need to switch off the landing light and the run return of light. We also don't need taxi and also the strobe light, and we want to start the APU and put that back to off. If we, in case we have radar or something, we would switch that off now. Turn right and let me taxi to the gate. This will be a long video, of course. It says TICA standby, seatbelts, and no smoking signs on. Good. I'm going to cross over this bridge here and take any of the gates there. Again, our lights are all off, taxi lights are on, APU starting. We need APU because once we want to stop the engine, we don't want to lose electricity completely. So there is the bridge where the street passes, under which the street passes. Go to the left. Try to stay on the center line and on the bridge, not too fast. So there we are. See that? That's a Bayware airport, of course. The default one doesn't have that. Fortunately. Okay, let's take one of those gates. That one, 204. Okay, turn. Taxi lights off. And those automatic parking, marshalers, these automatic signs here don't work. Automatic parking, and there's no marshaller, so we have to do that manually. If you have ground services, this will work, but I don't. I'm not interested in these details. And just stop somewhere, eyeballing it. Set the parking brake. Make sure it's set. Okay. And make sure the APU is running, and then switch off to number 2 and engine number 1. Good. And once the engine has spooled down to approximately 6%, we can disable the seatbelt signs, switch on the APU grid so that the air conditioning continues working, and the external power is available automatically, so we can connect it. And also deboard, which means I think it will connect automatically. And that was my flight to Munich. With a very elementary setup. You need the Fenix, you need maybe the Bayware airports if you like, but don't really need them. You need the flight simulator. and you need to know how to get a flight plan in SkyVector. Bye bye.